Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Studio Life. My name is Mark. I'm here on the campus of MBS Media Campus and our stage, Manhattan Beach Studios. So welcome. Let me pop a little lower third up because I'm doing my own editing live, and we like it that way because it's speed to market, and that's basically our entire campaign, which is speed to market. We are a shop that is designed around content. We don't always know what the content is of the day, but we're here to move that thing along as quickly as possible. And so we are asked all the time, what editing program do we use? And we've settled on DaVinci Resolve, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why. We have a couple of important considerations when it comes to our workflow and why we thought Resolve was the best for us. Now, don't get me wrong. I have used all of the editing packages out there, I think. I started out in the world of Avid and Media 100, Premiere. I've used Final Cut. I really fell in love with Sony Vegas for a while. If you remember Sony Vegas, I think it's still out there. And there were a lot of advantages to all of these, and some of them are things that Resolve does not duplicate, the way it handles some of the clips or things like that. But we were drawn to Resolve initially because of the color. The ability to work color and create a look that works for a final product. Resolve is the king, and it remains the king. We continue to use Luminitri, if I have that right, on the Premiere side of things and Final Cut. We are forced into doing color correction on other platforms from time to time, but the truth is, Resolve, hands down, is world class. And the problem that we faced, the number one problem that we faced, was that we had to take footage from, let's say, Premiere, and we needed to get it into Resolve, and then we needed to make the corrections, and then we needed to get it back. And we found there were always little hiccups along the way. Sometimes something might not sync, or, who knows what might have happened. And ultimately, that just became too much of a pain in the butt, and we decided, nope, not really for us. That was sometime, it was a few years ago. It was sometime around the release of Resolve 15. And it was clunky. There were certain parts of Resolve that were a pain in the butt. But the truth was that we had Adobe crash all the time too. And so for all of the flaws of Resolve and all of the flaws of Adobe, we sort of opted for not having to round trip our footage anymore. But little by little, Resolve became the top of the mountain for everything we do. So let's walk through a few of those reasons. Number one, you pay once, you own it forever. Absolutely love that. Now, I've bought Adobe many times over to own forever. I no longer own any part of Adobe forever. They take money month after month after month. It really does kind of stink. But do I save money? No, because I still own the Adobe package. I still utilize After Effects, and sometimes I have to use Premiere. Premiere is better at one thing, much better at one thing that we do. We use Photoshop all the time, Illustrator all the time. And then sometimes we'll use some of the other packages that are offered by Adobe, such as some of the character stuff. So, we're not really saving money with Resolve. Even though if Resolve was your entire existence, then yeah, we would save money. We would just pay once, own forever. We love that. The second thing we love about Resolve is quite simply the color. We can handle color quickly and easily, and so let's just not forget what made Resolve the greatest color software that almost any of us have ever used, and that's the color. So color beats everybody. So let's take a second and talk about what makes Resolve so remarkable. We talked about the color. It is world class. But Resolve as an overall package is everything you can want. It takes the media in, it lets you sort, organize, multicam, then you get through that edit, then you can do any motion graphics that you want or compositing, then you can move into the color, which world class, then you can get into Fairlight for audio, and then you can finish with delivery. And so think about that. That's Premiere and Media Encoder and Audition and After Effects all in one. So Wonderful. So let's take a quick look. We can start out here with the media tab. This is where you bring in your assets and, you know, take what you need and drop it on the timeline. Then you get into the cut page. This is your entire timeline right here. This is a remarkable tool for organizing your footage and getting rough cuts. Now, some editors go all the way with the cut page, and the cut page works wonderful on mobile tablets and things like that. We have not really adopted the cut page as part of our workflow because we grew up with editing on edit pages, and so that's how we grew up. So let's move to that edit page, which is right here. Here's a piece of footage. You can cut. You can go to your effect. There we go. And there's your pan. Check that out. It's pretty cool. So all of your effects are right here on the left. You can hide the effects, open them up. You can open up your media pool, close it up. You can take a look at an index. This is super cool for working with a lot of tracks or markers, things like that. You can open and close your mixer. If, let's say, this is your edit point, a little Control Shift with a backspace or with the back arrow, and you've ripple deleted. You can trim off the end. Again, Control Shift right bracket. Now, of course, Macs have their own corresponding shortcuts, but I just wanted to make sure it's clear. It's that easy and that fast. Let's move over here onto this Fusion page. And so in Fusion, you can, it looks pretty confusing because of these little nodes. Fusion is node-based. There's, you know, just kind of what it is. But if you were to think, if you wanted to draw a circle around an object in After Effects or in Premiere, you'd probably have to round trip it over to After Effects. But here, I'll hit Control and Spacebar. I'll add a paint node. I'll, let's say, grab the stroke, draw it. There we go, around his face. And, you know, let's kind of come over here, open up our stroke controls, and set a point over here. And let's set a keyframe right there. And let's keyframe right here. Oop, let's not let it get that far. It's right here. That's good. That's a good keyframe right there. And let's finish our right on. Okay, so now we can go back and play it. And you'll notice that we've just drawn onto our screen. This is a true motion graphics compositing system. It is just amazing as you start to think about what's possible when it comes to being able to get things onto the screen wherever you want, making them look exactly the way you want. Just really cool. Just really cool. It's a motion graphics tab, but it's also a wonderful color correction tool or movement tool or effect tool. It has particle emulators in here and 3D emulators and shape emulators, and it's built in. So for us, moving from, let's say, the Edit tab over to the Fusion page and back to the Edit tab is that easy, you know? There we go, check it. There we go, there's your effect. Wonderful system. So let's move over now to color, because color is essentially what makes Resolve so world-class. Once you're in the color tab, you select the clip that you want, and you can make your changes. So let's be a little bit aggressive with our changes. You, by the way, have tons of effects and tools and all kinds of tracking, masking. You can do almost all of this in the Fusion tab. You can do it in the color page, and you can even do some of this in your Edit tab. But if you know the right place to do your thing, you'll find that that this works very well. But now let's say that you are very happy with that clip, and you see this dark clip over here, and you want it to look the same. Just highlight that clip and then middle mouse tab, and now you've matched your two clips. Really fast. You can assign things to groups. It's very common for me to add metadata to certain pieces of footage. So when things come in, I'll add metadata to make sure that all of my cameras, let's say, have camera ID 2 on them, and all of another camera has camera ID 1. And now in the color page, I can simply create smart filters and immediately be making changes to all of a particular camera, or all of a particular camera at a particular location. Whatever I want to do, I could do very, very quickly. And we're not even touching the tracking, which I think is easier in this program than in any program that I've ever seen. And so that's pretty cool. But then you can slide over here into the Fairlight page. And in Fairlight, in seconds, I can come over and I can grab dynamics and add a compressor and, you know, compress the hell out of something, bam, and then I'm done. And you'll see the gain reduction. You can add some makeup gain over here. And I am moving very quickly back into the edit page. So my audio is fast, my motion graphics is fast, my editing is fast, and then you get to this last tab, which is delivery. And here I can select a ton of options when it comes to the format I wish to deliver in. I can say, let's say MP4 wrapper on an H.264 codec or H.265. And, you know, you get into that Apple nonsense of ProRes, but I've got lots of options. I've got everything that I could do to make me happy. I've got HyperDeck outputs. I can also tie this directly into things like Frame.io, where it automatically feeds Frame.io the project, and then anyone who adds a comment in Frame.io automatically is marked on this timeline. So it's just kind of what it is. So we talk about the free, we talk about the versatility, the all-in-one, and the fact that it's just solid. It just is quick. So from the time I get a project in to the time I get that project done can be minutes. I find it just as fast or faster than all of its competitors. One of the other things I like very much about this is how it utilizes the cloud. And I know this is, again, we're getting into a space that you can say, well, everybody does that. But this does that. It does it very well. As soon as the project's on the cloud, everybody in my database can easily open that up. My database does cost me $5 per month. But we share a lot of projects internally here, and that is sometimes the best $5 you can spend. We'll take footage, we'll transfer it to each other's hard drives, or we'll put it on our NAS or something like that. And now everybody has what they need in order to work very closely together. I will say it's still a little complicated. The high end of this cloud stuff is very complicated, but the day-to-day working of that is fast. And that's really what we need. I don't have very much else to say. It's everything that we want it to be. Learn your shortcuts like any other software package. Understand the way it utilizes external monitors. That's rather unique, but it's very, very effective when it comes to how you utilize those external monitors. I mean, that's how Blackmagic kind of got started with its capture devices and its monitoring devices, and specifically because it was a color correction tool, it knows how to get the image from here onto a color correction calibrated monitor, and it does it well, and it does it fast. And so that's what I have to say about that. As far as the other features and the multicams and all of that stuff, wonderful. It makes a multicam for us about as fast as you can blink, in particular because most of our multicams are based on time code, so it doesn't have to do a whole lot of thinking. But it could still do waveform multicams and everything like that. But that's what I have to say. So when it comes to the system, it is fast, it's easy, click, click, click. Any lags, anything that you used to think about Resolve, it really has been fixed. And we're pretty pleased with all of that. And so that's why we use it. If you've got questions, kick them over. We're happy to answer. We're not experts on every feature. I will say I'm not a color corrector by trade, a colorist by trade, but we color everything. I'm not an audio engineer anymore by trade, but we mix and produce pro quality audio for everything. So we utilize every tool here, and we absolutely love it. So anyway, that's another edition of the Studio Life, and hopefully it was helpful. Talk to you again soon, and see you next time.